evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Eliza Petrie. Our top story tonight, lawmakers were unable to reach a deal last night, which led to a government shutdown. Vice President J.D. Vance blamed Democrats for the government shutdown in an appearance at today's White House press briefing. He argues Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is taking a hardline stance because he's afraid of a potential primary challenge. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries defended Schumer today.
The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge.
Leader Schumer has taken a principled position, as has every single Democrat in the House and the Senate, related to opposing a partisan Republican spending bill.
Democrats blame Republicans for the shutdown, saying they refuse to negotiate on extending tax credits that have made health insurance more affordable. And now one of Springfield's most historic sites is forced to close its doors. Fox Illinois' Monique Davis joins us live with how the capital city plans to move forward. Monique?
That's right. I'm standing outside of Lincoln's home, a historic site that draws thousands to Springfield. Now it's closed until further notice. The Visit Springfield organization says dozens of employees who work at the Lincoln site have been furloughed until further notice. Darren Thurman with Visit Springfield says they will take things day by day as they wait for an update.
We just really hope they can get back, and knowing them as being such a great partner, I know they will want to be back here as well. We're kind of looking at a week window at a time. We're contacting groups that have visits scheduled to the city to find alternatives for them to do.
Since there's a possibility that the National Park Service website will not be maintained during the shutdown, Thurman says they will have to rely on communication from the government for updates. Thurman wanted to make it clear that Springfield is still open for business. He says the city's other attractions were not affected by the shutdown. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thank you, Monique. Coming up at 6 on our sister station, News Channel 20, we hear how other programs across Central Illinois could be impacted. And Fox Illinois is sitting down with Kent Redfield, Professor Emeritus of Political Science at the University of Illinois Springfield, to better understand what it means when the government shuts down. He spoke about what impacts we may see in the coming days should the shutdown last.
You're having an impact on the economy because people that are not getting paid or not spending money, and so you know short term you're having some fiscal effects.
He says if the shutdown lasts a long time, states that rely on federal funding for things like environmental protection will start to lose their ability to do their jobs. And we also spoke with Illinois District 13 Representative Nikki Baczynski about the shutdown. She represents Illinois' 13th district and says roughly 11,000 constituents are federal employees. We asked her why Democrats have decided not to vote for the passage of the budget.
We believe that any short or long-term budget deal needs to include relief, specifically around health care and the premiums that are skyrocketing in this country.
Baczynski also asking for her paycheck to be withheld to stand in solidarity with those who have to work without pay. Tonight at 9, our Spencer Davis will have more on who will and will not be paid. And around the country, meteorologists rely on agencies like the National Weather Service to help gather data. We reached out to the NWS to ask who and what may be impacted by this shutdown. They responded with a statement that reads, quote, NWS products, watches, and warnings will continue to be issued as normal and will not be affected. We cannot provide further comment at this time, end quote. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Eliza Petrie. We begin tonight with team coverage. Amid the government shutdown, elected officials will still get paid. This comes as some federal workers will be furloughed, while others may be working with the promise of pay after the shutdown ends. Fox Illinois' Spencer Davis reached out to several politicians about this inequity. Spencer, what did you find?
I contacted the press contacts for Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, along with Representatives Nikki Budzinski, Mike Bost, and Mary Miller. Representative Budzinski is the only one who responded to my questions.
I think I'm no different than any other federal worker.
Sitting Congress members receive salaries of $174,000 per year provided through the U.S. Treasury. These checks will continue to come even as the government is shut down. But Representative Nikki Budzinski says she will not accept hers.
Not only are folks going to have paychecks withheld, and it's honestly why I've decided I'm also not accepting a paycheck during this government shutdown myself, because I think the pain that the working people in my district are feeling with this shutdown.
According to a congressional research report from September 2025, there are over 11,000 federal employees working in Budzinski's district. In a separate report, the average pay for federal workers in 2022 was about $45 per hour. Multiply those two numbers and you get over $500,000 in lost pay per hour. For an 8-hour shift for all of those people, it's a daily loss of $4 million. People that work through the shutdown will still be paid, but not until the government is reopened. The Springfield FBI office says, quote, all FBI employees are considered accepted due to the critical support that FBI personnel provide to address imminent threats to human life and property through our national security and law enforcement mission, end quote. Those waiting to return to work or working without pay for the time being will have to wait for an agreement at the Capitol.
Is something that we want to reach a resolution on. We want the government to be reopened. But again, in order to do that, we need bipartisanship. We need Republicans and Democrats to come to the table.
Senator Dick Durbin's and Senator Tammy Duckworth's offices referred me to their statement upon my initial request for an interview or comment. However, my follow-up question of whether or not they would accept pay was not answered. Reporting for Fox Illinois, I'm Spencer Davis.
Thank you, Spencer. Requests for comment to the press offices of Representative Mike Bost and Mary Miller went unanswered. And continuing our team coverage, now state officials are saying projects across central Illinois are being impacted. Fox Illinois' Monique Davis joins us with what those projects are. Monique?
That's right. Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski tells me more than $20 million of federal funding is being withheld from her district. In the city of Urbana, Budzinski says they were able to secure a big infrastructure grant dedicated to fixing Florida Avenue. The city of Urbana announced in January they received $10 million for the Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability and Equity Grant, or RAISE. Now those funds are being withheld.
This is important, critical funding for economic development, for public safety, for job creation. These were things that had already been approved on a bipartisan basis.
Budzinski says they were also able to secure more than $6 million in federal funding for the Head Start program in Champaign. She says that program will not be affected. Budzinski says this shutdown is pulling the rug from under communities and is creating instability. Reporting in studio, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thank you, Monique. In the capital city, Lincoln's Home was also forced to close its doors due to this shutdown. And in Champaign, it's business as usual at some federal offices despite the government shutdown. At the Social Security office, staff say payments will continue to go out. Public aid officials are preparing a formal response, while Lincoln's Challenge Academy says they're not impacted since they receive both state and federal funding.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to watch more videos from Fox Illinois.